Okay. MC8 did an interview at Art of Dialogue's channel, and they posted a segment where the segment was titled that Tupac was walking around during the height of the beef with no security. Um, Oddly enough, that wasn't said in the interview, but nevertheless, did you want to speak about the differences in artists during times of beef back then versus now, or did you have any comments about Tupac just walking around during the whole East Coast West Coast thing that kind of MC8 kind of spoke about?
Yeah, I would be shocked, or I don't recall that really happening a lot. But Tupac was wild, and he did try to shake his security a lot, and I was just playing around and having fun. Um, you know, just being rebellious. I don't know of any situations too often where he didn't have at least one of his security guards with him, or Big Psych, or Fedor, or the Outlaws with them and stuff like that for the MTA to observe him. Uh, but one thing I done learned about MCA, I don't want to call him no liar or anything like that. I kind of like MCA, the way he come across. He don't seem to be for all the bullshit. And so, if he said he saw him, who am I to say he didn't see him? I don't believe it, but I guess he was just trying to show how in the '90s it was different than now. How these guys are walking around and all of that. Because in the '90s they had entourages. Eight had an entourage and stuff like that, and so they had entourages that would go to special events and places with them. But yeah, they didn't have the money to have a security with them all the time if he wasn't on a Snoop or Tupac or one of them type of artist levels. Uh, I don't even remember. I think Ice Cube had the Nation with him, an artist like that. But I could see if somebody like a Matt 10 or CJ Mack or people like that rolling around, Dub C rolling around alone often, even Das and Corrupt. Um, so my point was, well, hopefully they learned. People like Drake or Kendrick or people like that who I guess he was comparing it to, because those are the recent ones with the beef and the going back and forth on wax and all of that. Hopefully they learned how to move, or at least have I'm not saying police officers or guys like that, but at least have an entourage, three or four homeboys that will move when you say move, will do whatever for you. Uh, but I do understand why they would not want guys with guns and stuff like that around them unauthorized, because law enforcement now, y'all know they'll be going through your cars and look what's going on with Boosie right now. You know, Boosie, Boosie hate that he's gonna have to go sit down for 3, 5, 7 years right now with all the stuff he got going on in his life. Just because he felt he needed to have a gun with him, not to go and hurt nobody, not to do something, just to protect the $20,000 or $30,000 that worth of stuff he have on you. A lot of guys have $5,000 to $10,000 worth of cash on them. You have a $20,000, $30,000 watch on you. Shit, your goddamn backpack is worth 2 or 3 thousand, and just because of who you are, God forbid you have a chain around your neck, so you could be walking around with $50,000 to $100,000 on you, and so that's all guys really want to do is protect the values that they have, because we have heard of people getting laid down and getting robbed, especially if you're in the late '90s or the 2000s. They were robbing and laying down people in recording studios. Man, how many times y'all done heard of Jazzy when Jazzy was hot? How niggas just walked up to him at the Grand Lux in the Beverly Center Mall, put a gun to him while he sat down eating with his girl. Sat next to him, put a gun in his belly, and stripped him down. So I understand why people have entourages. or have a gun on them. But most cops don't. And most cops know that you do have that. And that's why they harass you and do you like they do. So that would be my take from it. That would be my reasoning why. Uh, but like I said, I'm not here trying to shit on what MCA had to say. If he said he saw it, then I guess he saw it. But it wasn't like it was done often. Because by evidence of any pictures y'all seen, well, Pop, y'all always saw a security guard with him or around. Whether they would have did anything as we see, as we saw from what happened on September the 7th, well, but they were generally around, at least to keep somebody away, and was supposedly to be a good witness. And that's why you always hear me speak ill of Frank whenever I do. Not because he didn't shoot or return fire or anything like that. It's just because he didn't know how and he neglected to be a good witness. And just think if he would have gave statements that particular night on what happened and told the truth and been a good witness, then I think Vegas would have been able to decide this case a lot earlier than what they did.